numerical place there. Let's say funding. Now let's try this. Control Shift and down arrow key. Let's press enter. So beautiful. So Felicia, you're correct. All right. So the reason why, and thank you for attempting. So the reason why we have count only works with numbers, integers. You know, that's how it only works. If you put a text thing there, you know, it's not going to work because it's looking at numbers. That's why it didn't work the first time. So I mean, Felicia, once again, you're correct, and thank you for attempting. So for sum too as well, want to count the number of companies funded. You know, it's basically the exact same thing. Sum, average. You know, so now instead of doing sum of company funded, let's do sum of funding. Right? Let's do sum of funding. Just forget what is written here. Let's do sum of funding. So equal to sum. Sum is for addition. Sum. Then click on the first one. Control Shift and a down arrow key. Enter. So we have the sum here. The same thing for average, equal to average. Click on the first one, Control Shift with down arrow key. And you see, then this is the average, right? So basically, this is how you're going to be working with this, so that this is how we use the count, this is how we use the sum, this is how we use the average, basic formulas. Now there's something called counter. All right, counter. So let's try counter. All right, equal to counter. I'll explain what counter is. In fact, it's even written here. So what is written here is this. It's a counter. Counts the number of cells in a range that are not empty. All right, that are not empty. All right, so that what counter does for you. All right, so what this is telling us here is that, I mean, irrespective of whether it's number or text, I mean, based on what we can see here, as long as it's not empty, it's going to count it, right? So let's do that. So let's do what we did before for the first one. Let's do counter for this. Control Shift and down arrow key, enter. Let's see. So that's it. So that was counter those for you. It's going to count everything within that cell. If there's an empty one, it's not going to count it. It's only going to count the one that has something inside it. Now there is no sum R, and average R is not really something that is frequently used, and it's not something that we usually use in Excel like that. I mean, based off my number of experience and what I've worked on, it's not something being used. But I will count if, counter, and the rest are being used. So we can blur this out. You can just go to your home, or you can leave it. You can put the black box here just to break that out. So yeah, the next one, count if. All right, so now in simple English, count if it is this. Now, so in the situation here, we want to do count if it is United States. That's what we're trying to do here. Count if it's United States. Before my battery goes off, let me connect this. So count this if it's United States. All right, so now let's do that, right? So equal to count if. Now, they're asking for the range. Now, the range they're talking about, the range where United States is located. Where is United States located? United States is located in the country column. All right, so what can you do here? Click on the first one. Control Shift and down arrow key. So what you've done here, selected everything in that particular range where United States is located. Then comma here, they said comma is criteria. You can see here, criteria. So our criteria here is United States. Instead of typing United States, you can click on top of this here where you're United States. So what it's going to do is going to match it with that range. Anyway, you see United States, is going to count it. After that, put your brackets and press enter. So now we're saying that based on what we saw here, United States was mentioned 562 times. All right, that's what happened here. So now sum if is just the same thing, but now it's going to be working with numbers. You know, you can't sum text, right? So we want to sum if. Sum these values if it is United States. So equal to sum if the range. What's the range? The same range you did before again. China and the rest, Control Shift down arrow key, right? Comma, your criteria, United States. Click on this, comma. So let's calculate the sum of funding, you know, for United States. Then you come here where this funding is. The same thing we do, Control Shift and down arrow key. Close your bracket, enter. So you can see for United States alone, we had over 281 billion, that's what we had here. Then for average if, again, the exact same logic. Find the average if it is United States. So equal to average if the range, the same thing we did before, Control Shift down, comma, United States, and comma, average of funding, Control Shift down. So you have this, right? This is just for United States alone. Now let's do we can do for artificial intelligence, right? Let's try that out. So equal to count if the range. So now let us try something. This is about doing Control Shift down arrow key. Let us try and click on the column from the onset. So the range where artificial intelligence is located, let's just do something like this. Can you see me? Just watch closely. This. All right. Let's put your comma. So I'm trying to see, select the whole column. Let's see how smart Excel is. And put your comma. Criteria, artificial intelligence. Enter. 84. Right? So instead of you doing Control Shift down arrow key, you can just select the whole thing and it gives you that. All right? Now let's do the same thing for sum if. The range what artificial intelligence is this, then your comma which for your criteria is sum range is funding, enter. All right, as you can see that. Then average is the exact same thing again. Right? The range, industry, the comma, the artificial intelligence, and that comma, the average funding. So this is what we have. Now, so we have done count A. We have done count if. We have done sum if. We've done average if. Now, I want to. Sorry? Any questions, Felicia?
No, sir.
Okay. I thought I had something. So now we've done counter, we're doing count if, sum if, average if. Now we're doing ifs. All right. So the fact that you're hearing ifs, what that tells you is that there are more than one condition. You know, one year if is a condition. If is a boy, click yes. If she's a girl, click yes. That's basically that. Or else click no. That's if it's a condition. So ifs is like conditions, that's basically what's going on. So let's do count ifs. Put count ifs. Now the first criteria says criteria range. Let's start with AI, right? Where is AI located? Where is that criteria located? Located in industry. Click on that particular column. Put on comma. The criteria 1, artificial intelligence, you can click on it here. The comma. As you can see here, criteria 2, that's United States. So let's look for the range, criteria range 2, where United States located, is on that country. Then put a comma. After that, let's go United States. Then after that, in fact, you can just click your enter and let's see something. 46. So basically, what we're trying to say here is that United States counts where we have artificial intelligence in United States. If artificial intelligence is in the United States, count it. So that will be it here. So based on our count, there are about 46 places where artificial intelligence was present in the United States. Now, let's do sum if. All right. So the sum is basically, now we're doing the exact same thing. Now, we first start with the sum range, the range you want to sum. The count if was different. We're starting with the sum range. So the range you want to sum is the funding. Let's do the sum of funding. Comma. The criteria range. First criteria is artificial intelligence. So let's look for the range where artificial intelligence is present. That is under the industry. Comma, the criteria, artificial intelligence. Another comma, the criteria range 2, where United States is present. That's under country. This, the comma, United States. Then enter. Right? Same goes for average if. Average if. Okay, average ifs. then the average range, the comma, the criteria range, where artificial intelligence is under industry, the comma, artificial intelligence, put under comma, criteria range 2, that is where United States is under country here, the comma, then United States, and let's make it happen. So we have it here, right? Very simple. So these are like some functions that I made advanced that we usually use in Excel. So the basic one here again, mean and max. Mean, minimum, max, maximum. So equal to mean. So once you see the maximum font, the maximum font here, really. So let's try a step again. That's what I mean. So the minimum here is $1 million. Let's say the max. $14 billion. All right, that's that. So now let's go to the if function. So in this place, I'll be explaining the referencing. I'll try to explain that here. So I think this example best explains it, right? So first of all, we can easily do this. This is total. This is like a track. It's for maybe tracking a startup or something for the grants they're getting. You could make something up to and put it here. We want to find the total for each person. So that's equal to sum. And let's do the addition here. So basically, what you're going to do is you select everything here with equal to sum, then select everything. As you can see here, just click and cursor here and keep dragging it till you stop at the last place you want to sum. So enter. After that, you double tap it. All right, you have the total here. So now we want to know if our goal was met. How do you know if our goal was met? If the value here is greater than the value here, our goal is met. If it's less than the value there, our goal is not met. So that's why we want to do our if function, a conditional function. Equal to, or equal to if. Now logical test. If this, click on this, is greater than this value, what will happen? Put a comma. They said value if true. What should we write? Goal met. Let's write goal met. Yes. Goal met. Right. If the value is false, I think there's something off of my keypad. The value is false, I say no, not met. All right, then you click your enter on this. So now, based on what we see here, you can see 36,000 is greater than 35. So we'll go met. So let's try to bring it down. Now, you see, yes, go met, no, go, no met. Yes, yes, yes. But if you look closely here, there is an error, right? This 31,000 is less than 35, but it's saying yes, go met. That's a problem. 33,000 is less than 35, but it's saying yes, go met. That is actually a problem. What's going on? Let's see something. If you double click on the first one, you will see like there's an highlight. FC greater than B3. That is this one, this blue one is highlighted in blue, greater than this. Yes, go met. So that one is correct. Let's go to second one. What do you notice here? If F7 is greater than B4, this F7, this is correct. But B4, look at what it did here. It went straight to the column under it. And that's what happened to every single one. You know, the same thing here. It was going down first quarter. We wanted it to just stick to this, making reference to this alone. But instead, it was going down, 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 and giving us wrong values. So that's where referencing comes out. So there are three types of referencing. There's relative referencing, there's absolute referencing, and there's mixed referencing. All right. Relative referencing is basically anywhere here, right? You can see this is G2. This is just a relative reference. You know, anywhere within the cell, this is relative reference. But now, when you begin to see a dollar, it stops becoming a relative reference. It is now either an absolute reference or a mixed reference. Now, an absolute reference is when you are sticking to one particular cell. You're not going out of that cell. This is the only cell you want to work with. That's what makes it absolute. A relative, you're saying, okay, you want it to be shifting along these lines, but it can be maintaining somewhere. Now, what am I trying to explain here? Let me show you something. Let's start. Let's go with this example, the same one here. So now, this F6 is correct, greater than B3. We want the B3, we want it to only make reference to this B3. That's why I want to make it absolute. So what are we going to do? Put a dollar sign in front of the B and a dollar sign in front of the 3. Or if your laptop is, it works well with the function keys, you can do a function F4 and it automatically picks that up for you. All right. Then click on enter. All right. So once you do that, let's try and drag it down. You see something now. As you can see, the ones that we not met were actually not met now at this time. Let's look at what happened here. So because we referenced this one, it didn't shift from B3. No matter the situation we are in, it didn't shift from B3. All right, let's go to the next one too as well. It didn't move from B3 again as well. That is an absolute reference. A relative reference is basically saying, let's say I move the dollar away from here. Let me just do something. Let's say I move the dollar, let me do this. Let me move the dollar away from B. This is a mixed reference now. It's already a mixed reference. The fact there's only $1 in between where this particular cell is, that makes a mixed reference. If there are two, it becomes an absolute. And let me show you what happens. Let me click on enter. Now let me drag this down. You see what's happening. All right. So this is going to stay on B3. That there are situations where the thing is going to be shifting across, right? I don't think this picked it, but let's see this. So this one is still picked here, so it's staying on B. Let's try out something. I want you to see the effect in real time because this is not showing. It's not showing the effect I wanted to give. So let's try this. Let me try something else. Okay, can this work? Let me see. I just want to show you guys so that you guys understand exactly what I'm saying. Okay, let me see something here. Maybe this can work. It's going down. Okay, so let's try and work with this, right? Let's try and work with this. If you look at this here, what happened is this. It's staying on the B column, but it's moving across the column, across the rows, sorry. So this dollar is stuck on B. So then what we're saying is that we are frozen that B column, but it can move along the rows, right? So that's basically still mixed referencing. I was trying to see how I could I try and think of the best way to make this other one work, but I don't know what's going on here. Probably there's an error of something on my side, but if I see a better example somewhere, I'll explain that. But all right, but let's leave this for now. But I hope you got the whole message of what I'm trying to explain here. I think that's the major thing. Felicia, are we good?
Yes, sir. It's very good.
Okay, awesome. Okay, awesome. All right, so let's go to the next one, logical function. We need to start, well, I'm not saying running, but let me move this so that we all grab the concept. Let me clear this out. So now we're going to do like more of logical functions. Now, the if is a conditional function, or we can call it logical function. Now we're going a bit deeper. Let's do all. Let's do the others, let's do things like that. Let me clear this out. I don't know if the file I gave you has everything filled up. Probably this is the completed file, probably. But let's do it from afresh. So now we're going to do the if function too here as well. I've already explained the referencing already, but I'll explain it here again with this. I think this will have something to do with referencing. So now we want to see that if we want this to match the continent here, all right, and if it matches it, let it give us right continent, right? So let's do that. If Asia is equal to Asia, comma, let's do right continent. Continent, all right? comma, else, that is, if it's not right continent, what should it give us? Wrong continent. It's a wrong continent. Let's go and enter. And let's try to pull this down. Now, I mean, I'm sure you're noticing something already, right? We're seeing a lot of wrong continents. So just not to waste our time, it's a referencing issue. If you click on the second one, what's going on here? It's showing that North America is correct, but on top here, it's referencing this K2, right? It meant to reference the header here, which is Asia, but it keeps doing the same thing down. So we need to change the referencing. So what we're going to do now is this. We're going to make what? This Asia here absolute, right? So let's make it absolute. When we make it absolute, we'll now apply the changes. Let's see whether it changed. Let's double click this so that we effect the changes. Now this is correct. You can see now it's making reference to the Asia alone, right? The exact same thing, right? It makes a whole lot of sense. Now the exact same thing we did for this for Asia, let's do for North America. Let's do that as well. It's equal to if logical test Asia, that is G2, is equal to North America. Let's make it an absolute reference. Don't forget that. Then comma. What's going on? All right. Right continent. You put under comma. Then if it's not wrong continent, enter. So this is also correct, right? Consider absolute. Now we want to do both Asia and North America, right? You can do this or not, but mere looking at it, right? When you're doing both Asia, and it's not possible because on each line you only have one. You know, they aren't two. Do you get what I mean? Fisher, are you there? Do you get what I mean? So, or do I need to explain it in depth again? You said we want to return if that cell has both Asia and North America. Return yes.
Yes.
Now, looking at this data, does it have both Asia and North America? Moving on.
No.
All right. So I didn't want to waste time, but let me just show you guys so that I shouldn't have included this column. But let's do something now. If includes if this let's try to do if. Okay, let's even do, should we do, which formula should we use for this? I think you can use an AND formula here. Oh no, let's use the AND formula. I'm going to use the AND formula here. Let's leave this blank. This shouldn't be here. Let's do an AND formula. All right, so equal to and I'll explain what's going on here. So and we're saying that if this value is equal to Asia, and if this value is equal to North America, right? Return true or false. Logically, you're meant to expect false. The exact same thing that's going on in this column here, but I should have written just and alone. So, but let's try it out. So logically, if Asia is equal to this, let's make it absolute, comma, let's say the next one, this one is also equal to North America. All right, let's press enter. Let's see. I mean, the answer, like I said, the answer you're meant to get is false. Everything has to be false. It's the exact same thing here because you only have one continent per row. It doesn't have both of them. Now let's do the OR function. Equal to OR. Now, OR is saying that if it has this one or this one, return true. If it doesn't have any of them, return false. But returns, if it has at least one of the conditions correct, return true. So OR Asia equal to this Asia here, make this one absolute, don't forget, comma, Asia 2 again, this one, equal to North America, make it absolute, enter. Now, you can see it true. Why is it true? Because one of them is actually equal to the other. On this, so we have Asia equal to Asia, right? That is why it's true. Let's click it down. Let's look for one that is false. Now look at this false one here. This is Europe. So Europe is not matching against Asia or North America. So the answer has to be false. All right, look at North America here. Because one of them is North America. That's why it's correct. That's why it's true. Right? So the condition looked at Asia and said, okay, it's wrong. Okay, let's look at next condition. North America is correct, so returns true. The same thing goes for both continents here. It's still the same OR function, right? I mean, if it has this or that, so you can decide to discard these two. They're both replicas of the OR form, OR and the AND function, while I was creating this training document. Now, we want to find if the funding is greater than 1 billion. Now, let's look at this. If you're looking closely here, we can see that it's just 8B, 7B. This is 7 billion, 8 billion, 5 to 7 million. I mean, this is actually billion, but if you do like, if this is greater than this, it's not the exact same thing. Exactly saying this one as a currency, exactly saying this one as just a number, and it's not really adding up per se. So I want to make sure that it's in the right format so that we get the exact thing. So what we're going to do is this. Control Shift and your down arrow key. All right. Once you do that, do Control F. That is find and replace. So for the B, which is billion, replace it with 9 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. And click on replace all. So you can see a 140 replacement done. All right. Let me go back up so that we see something. Now for the M, let's do the exact same thing. M is million. Million is 6 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Replace all. Done. Right? So let's close it. So we now have the actual value. So now let's change this to the accounting format. So we have this, right? Now let's now do our formatting. So if it is less than 1 billion, you say funding less than 1B. Greater than 1 billion, funding greater than 1B. So if this funding is greater than 1 billion, don't forget, make it an absolute reference. Yes, then what else? Put a comma. Then apostrophe. As funding greater than 1B. Else, funding less than 1B. All right. Click your enter. All right. Then let's pull this down. All right. So we can see greater than. I think I see one less than here. Let's see this. So this is 527 million. So definitely it's less than 1 billion. Right. So this is how you do it so that you get exactly what you need and what you want from your data. So we're moving quite quickly here again. So now we're doing the lookup functions. Now in Excel, there's something called lookup function. And lookup function basically, in simple sense, you're looking up a value in a particular range of cells, right? In a particular table, in a particular row, particular column, you're looking up for it. So now we want to make it, and there are like 3 kinds of lookup functions. There's a VLOOKUP, there's the XLOOKUP, there's the HLOOKUP. But the HLOOKUP is normally not used. Like nobody uses the HLOOKUP anymore because XLOOKUP can do everything. VLOOKUP can do across the columns, and HLOOKUP is basically across the rows. So, and that one is a bit complicated thereabout. So since you already have 1, 2 that does everything at once, why would double down on that? So that's why it sort of went extinct in a way. All right. So first of all, let's do a basic equal to mean the minimum funding value. Let's do this. Enter. That's 1 million. equal to max. I'm sure you can remember how we did it before. Yes, then median. Median, it's more like it's not the middle number, but it's more like this based on the arrangement, the one that actually falls in middle in a way. You know, there's difference between average and median. Average is basically saying that okay, add everything all together and divide by number of numbers, and you get the average. That's it. But median is more like it's a closer thing to middle when it's arranged accordingly. You know how we taught us in primary school and secondary school. There's median. There's you want to find the median. You have to arrange it in maybe you have 5, 4, 3, 8, 0. You have to start arranging it from ascending to descending or from descending to ascending. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then based on that arrangement, you find the median. You know, and that's how we do median. So that's this code I did here, the formula for that. So for VLOOKUP now, so VLOOKUP, we're checking across the column, all right? What value should we return based off what we see here? So once we do equal to VLOOKUP, our lookup value is 1 million. So which company has a funding value of 1 million within that cell? So that's why I say lookup value. Then comma, the table array. That is the table that has all those columns. Which is this. So let's select everything here, Control Shift and down arrow key. All right. So once you've done that, let's bring this out so you can see what's going on. Okay, good. All right. I think what's going on here. Okay, what's the diapress? Let me go back again. Let's click this. Then let's click the whole table again. I think something went on here. All right. All right. So once we've done that, right, the next thing they're asking for here, put your comma. They said the column index. Now, the column index we're looking for, the column index we want returned is actually the one that has company. Remember, we are looking at, we want to look up the company that has a funding value of $1 million. So we have selected it already, or selected the whole table where it's located. Now I want to return the column where that company is located. So and how Excel work, columns are, I told you, columns are, you have to like start counting the columns, right? If the columns start from here, maybe this B here, this column is 1, the next one is 2. If it starts from here, this one is 1, the next one is 2. All right. So now since the column we want to return is company, we have to write 2 and comma 0. 0 is just basically an exact match, or you can write false match. Then click on enter. Zyper. All right. That's basically how we got that here. Now another thing most normal VLOOKUP is this. The value that you are using as a reference point, the lookup value, it must be located in the first column of the cell you want to, of the table or this range of cells you're referencing, right? Let's say this funding value column here was maybe after this company. It's not going to work. It's going to give you like an error or something, right? VLOOKUP works when the funding value, the lookup value, is at the leftmost side of the range of cells. So that's why we're able to get this value accurately, because this 1 million, the value was in the leftmost, the first column from the range of cell that we're dragging from. So that's why we got that correctly. That's for VLOOKUP. So we can drag this down. Let's see if we got the remaining. So for the max, Julie Labs, for median, not cool. So let's just do a brief filter. In case your filter is not on, you can just click on this here and go to data and click on filter. That's how you click on your filter. That's how you get your filter. All right, so once you've done that, let's go to 1 million. If I don't need to go 1 million, see 1 million here already, and the company here is Zyper. All right. Now let's do 14 billion. Let's show whether it's Julie Labs. Julie Labs. Let's be sure. Let's say 14 billion. The 14 billion. That's 14 billion again. I think I saw that somewhere. I could have just done this, but let's do it the manual way. So 14 billion. Let's do that. Let's see. That was Julie Labs, right? Let's see whether we're correct. Right. So that's Julie Labs. So Control Z to undo, so you get back here. The industry now, let's use X lookup. X lookup just is very direct, so equal to X lookup. What lookup value? 1 million, right? The lookup array, where is that 1 million located? It's located here, comma. Which array should we return? We want to return the industry. Put this. You've gotten that. Then you can drag it down. Right. So that's basically how it works. So I've taught you if you look up, X lookup. We've done logical function, we've done the if, we've done the and, we've done the or, we've done the count if, the sum if, the ifs, the average ifs. You know, this is a bit of undone stuff, but we need to be doing it over time so we get a good understanding of it. Okay, we need to rush a bit right now, but let's see. For the year, right? Now I want to do an index match, and this is why I'm doing index matches because there are situations where maybe the X lookup might not be working, so you might try the index match. It's not really advisable because it's a bit confusing sometimes. Trust me, it's not that direct. But I'll try to make this one very simple. This might be one of the basic examples you ever see. But in situation where you have to work with data like this, X lookup is your best bet. X lookup is your best bet. So value. So let's do something, right? I want to be able to match to find the exact value within this cell. So what I'm going to do is this. Let me get the year column, the years here. So we're going to do something called data validation. Now, just follow me closely. So go to your, I think that's your data tab, if I'm right. Yes, go to your data tab. Then go to your data tool. You see data validation. Click on that. Then once there's a drop down here, you can see validation criteria. Click on, there's something written here, allow any value. Just click on that drop down here. Then click on list. So what this list is that they're saying your drop down is going to have a list of values, a list to pick from. You know, those drop down, a list to pick from. And where do we want that? And now it's asking us where should we get those data from? And this is where we're going to get it from. So just look at me closely. Click on this here. Then click on this and drag. So we're saying from this T13 to T17, this is what we want to be in the drop down. Then click on OK. So if you click now, you see that there's a drop down here. You can click any month, 2022, 2021. Can you see this is how it works? Then product 2 as well. The whole product 2 also, let's do the exact same thing. I think I've worked on this before, but let's do product. The exact same thing you did before. Let's do this. Now let's go to data tabs, data validation. Okay, this is already written here. So I'll just cancel this so that we can see what I'm doing again. Product, right? Then click on OK. So the same drop down here too as well. Can product B, product C, and everything. All right. So for match now, let's do match equal to match. Now I want to get the number. So now let's do now this is now inside it you can see lookup value, lookup array, match type. So lookup value is this value we want to look up 2021, comma. Lookup array is just between this, right? You can click on enter, you can put 0, anyone, it's 1. So what basically this is telling you is that this is the first, it's the 2021 is on the first row based on our range of cells. This is what we selected, right? And based on what we selected, this was the first one that was on that range. That's why we returned 1. All right. So equal to the same thing for this one. Let's do match. Lookup value, right? You put a comma. What range are we looking at? This one here. So 2. So it's saying that this product B is the second, what? Is the second column here. All right. If I change this here, let me do 2024 or 2024, it's going to change. Now see, change to 4. If I change this to products A, it's going to change. Now we want to get the value of 2024 and product A. So we're expecting 6,500 here. We're expecting this value here, 6,500, this particular value, because this is 2024 and this is product A. So this value we expected. So let's do an index match. So index match is basic index. Now, the array they are talking about, this is what we're going to be selecting, the values between this one. These are the values here. Then comma, the row number. The row number is this one here. Comma, the column number, which is this. Enter. 6,500. Can you see this? So imagine let me do 2022. It's going to change 7,000. 2022 is here. Product A. Let me do product C, for example. 3,200. Right? Can you see this? So this is basically how it works. So you can apply it to your small data set. I don't advise it for big data set. It's confusing because of how complex it can be. And you don't have the whole lot of time to start creating small tables like this to start matching and everything. XLOOKUP is your best bet. Also, so I'll run very quickly through this. So conditional formatting, you're formatting based on condition. So you're going to highlight asterisk or do basically some sort of formatting based on the instruction you give it. Right, let me go back to the home tab. So we get back to it. Let's say, for example, now I want to get maybe the date between the week or something. Let me just try. Let's select the whole dates column. Control Shift down. Conditional formatting. You can see there are different things. Highlight cell rules, top bottom. You can find the top 10 items, top percent, data bars to show you the highest, the higher value between the selection. Color scales, the exact same thing. Icon set, all these things about ranges and everything, But let's do for dates. I saw something here. So highlight cell rules. Let's do a date occurring. Now, let's, for example, let me move this up so that I don't miss out on this. Let's do maybe a date. And we'll do last week, right? And I said, let's fill it with maybe yellow fill. Let's see. I click on OK. Now, as you can see, the only thing that was selected here was this one because that was the only date that was last week, right? 22nd of August. I think August, September, right? That was the last week. If you had more dates last week, you want to highlight everything. So that's just the date. That's just for the date. So you can do much more. You have a data set of more dates and everything. You're looking for last week, last month, last this. You can easily do that with conditional formatting. And it's best for small data set because you're working with 1 billion. How you be seeing everything one by one? It's not logical that way to make a whole lot of sense. Now let's do for this one too as well. Let's select the whole revenue column. I'll post you the Feishayo. I'll post you that.
Yes, there.
Okay, awesome. So let's select the conditional formatting. Then let's click highlight cell rule. Should I use this? Okay, let's use this. Then go to greater than. Now let's do greater than 22,000. Now, and let's fill it to red. Let's click on OK. So every value here is greater than 22,000. Can you see it? So imagine I change one, maybe I put 10,000. You see that the coloring under it is going to change. Let me do enter. As you can see, it's changed, right? Because it's following an instruction. So that's basic conditional formatting. Now let's go to the next one here. I still want to touch on pivot tables and do a bit of graphs so that we understand what we are doing. So let's do this one. So for revenue, let's do top 10 or let's do top 15. Let's see. So Control Shift and down arrow key. Conditional formatting. Let's do top 10 items. We can adjust it here when we get here. So we can do top 15. Let's click on OK. Let's make the color. Let's make it yellow or green or anything. On OK. Now see here, these are the top items that were selected. All right. So and there are different things you can do that you can do for badge. You can do. There are a lot of options there. Just based on your discretion. I'm just showing you how you can do this so that you can use it to your workplace or something. For this one too as well, I'm sure you're seeing things like Forex or things like that where they have like some icons, going up, going down, maintaining a value. We have icon sets for that under the conditional formatting. So what we're going to do here is this. We would let's select everything again, Control Shift down arrow key. Let's go to conditional formatting. Now you can see icon sets. Let's go to, you can pick let's pick this. Excuse me. So we can see here, the values here, they're increasing. The ones that are green are the ones greater than 0. You can see the value here, 10 was a bit really low. So I'm still maintaining less than 0. You can see everything less than 0 is red. So this is like another way of looking at things. All those forex things, all those stocks and all. This is how we can do a miniature version with Excel. And let me just do a bit of another example here, but this time with data bars, so that we grasp like the full scale thing of everything here. So let's do data bars. I do green. For example, you can see that we know the ones that are highest is 55, you can see 60. It just gives us a quick glimpse of what's going on here. Now, the last, but definitely the last, right, and which will form the basis for the next two tabs is pivot table. All right. So first of all, we're going to do an X lookup here. All right. We're going to do an X lookup here. I told you for data set that are large, it's best to work with an X lookup because it can be a bit complicated when you're using index match, right? I don't know if I have there's a file here where you can download X lookup in case you don't have the latest, you don't have it installed on your system, depending on the Excel version you're using. So there's a way you can install it, right? I don't know if I send that across, but I mean, if I didn't send that across, I'll just send that to the public. You could send it to your mails or so just have an idea. I mean, it's on YouTube, but Excel, Microsoft just made it available for like some particular kind of Excel packages, really. So now let's do this, right? So now I want to return the region, I want to return the price. Now, looking at this, there are about 3 tables. 2 tables have what we're looking for. So what do you want to do? You want to look them up and return it in this big table, this order form table. So what do we do? Now, for the region, where is it located? It's located in the region table. And what can we match against? We can only match against the sales rep to give us the correct answer. So what do we do? Equal to, click on the first one, X lookup. Look up this value, then comma, the lookup array, now, comma, then the return array, basically, what's going on? Okay, yes. Then the return array is going to be what? This value here, this particular region here. Control shift down. As you can see here, it was already returned, right? Look at Sadiq Kumar. Where's Sadiq Kumar here? Let me try and find Sadiq Kumar. Sadiq Kumar is in the west. Let's just see whether that worked out. Sadiq Kumar. Sadiq Kumar. Let's Sadiq Kumar. Okay, that's already gone out. I think I deleted something. Okay, it's working with this. Just give me a second. So Sadiq Kumar is west. Let's just check this here. Don't bother about what happens here, all right? Because I'm going to be filtering for something. The table is going to be affected, but just pay attention to this, right? Sadiq Kumar west. Keep that at the back of your mind. Let me Sadiq Kumar. Sadiq Kumar. Let's do that. That's west, right? So as you can see here, Sadiq Kumar west. So that's correct. So for price too as well, the price is in the vehicles column. So, and the only thing that we can match against is the vehicle so that we can get the price value. So that's equal to X lookup. Let's match against the vehicle. Then comma, the lookup array, which is this. Then comma, the price, which is the return array. That should be correct, right? To GSC 60,000, GSC 6,000, so that's correct. So that's basically how you look that up and we get that value. Now for sale, basically sales in naira or dollar or whatever is really just multiplying the price times the units that were being sold. So that's equal to, you got the price. Let's do this. What's going on? Why is this not adding up? Equal to, okay. If yours is not working too as well like mine, I don't know what's going on my laptop today, but you can just do the referencing. I mean, that way it's too simpler. So for this one, we want to do this one, this column times this column. So let's do K12, right? Is that K12 or K4? Sorry, K4 times, that's your asterisk, times L4. Right. So basically, you can still do that. In case it's hanging on your end or maybe just my laptop, you can just do the referencing and get the exact value back. So that's how we fill this. We use XLOOKUP to fill this in. Now, from this, we want to create a pivot table, right? How do we do this? Let's click on anywhere here and do Control A, or just hold on, just click on anywhere here, just click on and go to Insert. I think it's better this way. Then click on Pivot Table. Now, what we're going to do is this, right? I want to select every single thing. Based on what the pivot table did, is selecting only this part. I want to select the dates, I want to select the column headers and everything. Right, so what you're going to do is this, you don't do it manually. You click on the first one here, right? Control Shift, right? Control Shift and down arrow key. All right, then once you do that, click on OK. All right. So that's, I'm sure you have something like sheet 1 or something. Right, so that way you have that. So now this is your pivot table. So pivot table is basically like for summarization sake, really, to see your data at a glance in the best way possible. All right. So what we're going to do is this now. So I have, because of time, but I will just go straight into it. I'll be explaining as I go. I want to find the top performing salesperson, right? Top performing salesperson. Let's do that. So let's do sales rep. So just check this box, sales rep, right? And let's weight against the amount of money they made, the sales. Now, so once again, when you're dealing with numbers, ensure you put them in the values tab, right? That is the best way you can do that so that you arrive at a good answer. All right. Then also, yes, that's just for that. So now let's do top performing salesperson. These are the salespersons, and this is the sum of sale. So we can easily do different formulas, or we can just do a sorting. So click on this drop down here. All right. Once you click on the drop down, go to more sort options. Now do ascending order. Ascending order by, you can see sales rep or sum of sale. Now we're going to be doing ascending order by sum of sale. Let's do sum of sale. And click on OK. So it's going from the least to the most. Now, since you already gotten that from least to most, now I want to do top 5. All right. Now go back there again on the drop down, click on value filters, and go to top 10. In this top 10, let's reduce it to 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. If you're okay. So it has given us our top 5 values. All right. And once you've done that, just click on that, then go to pivot chart. You can see pivot chart here under the pivot analyze tab. Let's go pivot chart and click on any of column of your choice. Let's go with the first one here, clustered column. All right. Then we get this. You can easily adjust this and put in maybe the title top 5. Let me say top 5. The top 5 salespersons, right? And you can still do a lot of editing you want to make the designing, make it good. But this is just this is the part where we talk about visualization, right? So we can visualize this as a goal. So pivot table is just that tool that can help you out in many ways. Summarizing, you want to find it grouped in a particular way. Pivot table is one of the best tools you can use. All right. Now let's do another one. Let's do let's copy this. Control A, Control C. Let's copy that pivot table. Let's go to the tab called least performing and let's paste it anywhere. Let's see whether this, yeah, this performing. Now let's adjust this. Let's put bottom 10. You know, I copied that and I pasted it, so the formatting is still there. So in value filter, let's do bottom 10. So on top 10, let's go to top 10 and change it. So in that top 10, you see top and bottom. Click on bottom. Click on OK. Control A, or you can just click on anywhere there, no problem. Go to pivot chart. Go to the bar. You can choose any one here. I'm just going for any random one. Now they do something a bit different. So click on this. So you can change the color. You can do whatever you want to it. You can fill the shape, anything that makes sense to you. All right. Now, just a rule of thumb. For categorical data, for example, maybe they are working with categories. I'm trying to think of a good example. Maybe you're working, maybe for example, the banks, maybe Fidelity Bank, UBA, Zenith, um, Guarantee Trust Bank. These are 4 banks. You want to do categories, I want to do a visualization of them. The best chart you can use for them are bar charts or this column chart. Bar chart or column chart. If you're working with time series, things about date over time, use a line chart, right? If you're going to working with and we want to find like percentages or sections or sectors in those kind of things, a pie chart is well suited for that. Right, so these are the 3 major charts we use, and if you want to do a bit of advanced, there are a lot of charts that's being used and we talked about, and that's something I do train people on Excel and data analytics, more of advanced side. So you do a lot of waterfall or histogram or what's called again? I think it's not a dotted graph or something. So a lot of advanced stuff which I teach people. But for the context of these 3 graphs are good to go. Now let's copy this again. Ctrl A and Ctrl C. Right now let's do unit sold by region. Go to unit sold by region tab and click on anywhere here. Right. All right. And now let's change this. Instead of putting sales rep, let's remove sales rep and let's remove the sales. Now the region that we're talking about let's click on that. Let's check it. East, north, south, west. So I want to do units sold by region. So let's click on units and I do some sort of percentages from here. Okay, how many percent came from the north? Questions like that. How do we answer that? That's where a pie chart comes in. Let's do Ctrl A. Or we can just click on anywhere there. Pivot table analyze, pivot chart. Let's do a pie chart. Click on OK. Let's add a bit of data labels there. Let's see what we can get from here. Let's call out. Now, beautiful. So now this is something like this, right? So all this sectioning, how many percent came from the west, how many percent came from the east. This is what I use a pie chart for. All right. Do I have any other one more there? I think I've done this most performing. And yeah, so that's basically that. So just to recap a bit, we've come to what I say the end really. I'm trying to work with the time so that probably I have at least 4 to 5 minutes to answer questions. I'll probably just do 1 or 2 conclusion thoughts so that we understand if we want more learnings, we can have much more of that. Right, so I spoke about the data cleaning, the data transformation, and the data visualization. I took you to a journey on how you clean the data. They talked about trimming, they talked about concatenating, they talked about adjusting the column headers. We talked about using the left, the right, the if function. We talked about different functions, the logical functions. Talk about the lookup function. Talk about the math functions. And funny enough, in as much as this look like a lot of functions, there's still a lot more functions that are still out there, which I wouldn't put within this class. But I just believe that what you have here is good enough to go. We also talked about pivot tables. Talk about how to use them, summarizing. Talk about charts and everything. So if this is all you go with today, I can assure you that what you have now can be used to start out something, and you can always build upon that. Right, so we've come to the end of this class, right? The charts and the documents are available to you, so you can always edit them to your own taste. So that being said, thank you for your time, and I would love to take any questions if there are. Right. All right. So I'm done. So I don't know if we're still there. Is Tolu still there? Okay, thank you very much. All right. Okay, thank you. So if there are any questions, I'm open to them. It seems you all understand. Okay, I see Adam, your hand is still raised.
Yes.
So if you have any questions, please let's hear it out.
Thank you, Ife. Mohammed's hand is up, so he can ask his question.
Okay.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. I really learned a lot today. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's a
And
pleasure.
it's a lot actually. So um it's not a question, it's a request actually. Can we get the recordings in case if maybe later we are working and we want to go back to the video and check if yeah, we want to get something clear.
I think
Thank
that'll
you
be
very
up
much.
to okay. I think that'll be up to Tolu. I don't know. Tolu is coordinating this. Tolu, do you have access to it? I don't.
Yes,
Okay. Okay. So I mean,
yes,
head.
I do. So
All right.
we'll work
Thank you
on that
very
and I'll
much.
send you an email. Then also, I think great presentation and thank you. I guess having a lot of time really helped today, and it
Yes.
was really detailed. Also, thank you, Feishayo, for being very active and supportive, and for everyone that joined. I know some people joined and left at different points in time. If you spoke about a function, or basically a software for a function to install, so maybe you
Yes.
can share that, because what you shared
Okay.
with me earlier was just the link for
Yeah.
the
I
worksheets.
realized afterwards. Yes, I did. I said I'll share. I'll share that with you. I'll share that with you. I will.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
Ife's
Okay.
LinkedIn is also in the group or in the chat, so you can copy that and connect with him on LinkedIn, so that when he's having other trainings that may not even be organized by us, you can participate and learn as well. And the link to join the Telegram channel and also access other opportunities have been shared. So I don't know if there's any other thing if I want to share or if anyone else has a question as well.
All right. So actually regarding the training, right? So I'm working on one at the moment, right? So and basically it's still an Excel data analytics boot camp. I'll probably just do you mind I share my screen so I could just show it, right?
You can share your screen
Mm.
and you can still share the link with me. So when I'm sending the follow-up email, I can add that as
Oh,
well.
okay. Okay, that makes it. Let me share my screen from here. I don't know what's going on with this app. Just give me a second, please. Sorry. Um, I think this thing is acting up. Um, okay, it's can you see my screen now? I don't know if it's up.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Wow, what's going on? I think my laptop has been going through a lot today. To be honest, I don't know what to do. But I mean, basically, I think I would just share that with. I'll share that with. Okay, it's up now. Let me send that this one. Just give me a second. It's up. Let me share this. Okay, screen, entire screen. Yes. Okay, so basically, this is just like what I'm working on, right? I think I've already started sharing that on LinkedIn. So it's more like a boot camp, right? And the way I did it was like in three packages, right? There's a starter pack, there's the standard, and there's the premium pack. So basically, each pack has something tailored based on where you are and where you want to get to. So if you're a beginner and you want to like learn so much more and you want to get recordings and everything, there's a pack for you, and each pack has a link, right? So I'll share that to so she says that with you. And the standard pack too as well, which is a bit more advanced, where we work on like projects. We have certificates that you could show off, and we will get direct feedback from me on the assignments I'll be giving. The standard pack. And also for the premium, basically this is like a step further. You have everything in the standard pack. Then you have like a one-on-one clarity call for 1 hour, where we talk about different things about your data. Probably you have questions, you have inquiries, there are things you're working on regarding data that you need clarity on. We'll have that conversation for 1 hour, right? And also we have an opportunity to build your website with me, right? So there's a way you build your portfolio website, which I have done for mine, and I've done for a few people as well. So I could take you on that journey too as well. That is just in the premium pack. So I believe that it's catered for everybody, no matter what step you're in. And if this sounds like you, I mean, you can always hop in and we get in touch, and my team work with you in getting in a class. So that's just been that. So it's out and it's starting in November, on November 1st. So there's still, I won't say it's a long time, but a short time, right? But to get started. So that's basically that. If you're interested, you could always follow, check out the link here, and you see all the courses there. Right. So thank you, Todu. I think that's basically that.
All right, thank you very much, Ife. So, for those of us that participated today, in case you did not join the first one, for the first one, Ife actually really started by breaking down data, data analytics. He did a mini presentation, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he did a mini presentation, and that came in very handy. And I think for today, he just decided to focus more on the practical, because last time we didn't really have a lot of time to cover as much as we covered today. Data is important, and I think just really knowing and understanding the basics will help you regardless of which career, field, or industry you're in. So I strongly encourage. I mean, you saw how much he poured into today, so you know that he knows his onion. All right, thank you so much for joining. I'm just going to ask for the last time. Do we have any other question? If you don't have a question, just put a thumbs up. All right. Thank you so much, Ife. I look forward to receiving the resources as well as the flyers, and hopefully some other time in the future we will have you come again. And I look forward to seeing most of us in one of the trainings, either the starter, standard, or premium as well. Have a beautiful independence celebration and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
And you too. Bye, Todu. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Thank you.